What's going on, people? Welcome to episode 13 of the Trinity, powered by Dango. Yes, it is episode 13. Welcome to the show, guys. KG, myself, Owen, and all you guys love tuning in every single week. We are not episode 13's come quick. That's a lot of episodes.
You've done well.
Yeah.
That's a lot
consecutive as well. We've not missed one yet as well. Sticking to it.
We're well on our way to them 10,000 hours, guys. You know what I mean? That we showed that we're serious about the Trinity.
We're professionals.
100%. I mean, each Trinity is an hour, and we've done 13. So, how many more thousand is that? A lot.
I mean, we say an hour. There have been shorter episodes of the Trinity.
for different reasons.
Yeah, there have been 40-minute episodes. Always leave you wanting more. That's what we want. Yeah,
That's
always leave you wanting more. Some would say also as well, episode 13, unlucky for some, but not for us. You know who I know is on it and ready today is 1KG the comedian. Do you know how I know this, Flex? I got a rare treat from KG today. I got an email from KG.
A what?
I got an email.
This guy's incredible. He's incredible.
Yep. I got an email. The peek behind the curtain, the way it's set up. I always send KG a link to all of the shows. By the way, it's always the same link.
But the same one, yes. The same one.
But I send it in. I send them every time. It gets top of the inbox. You know, make it easy to celebrities, a star.
Yes.
And I got a response today saying simply, "I will be there." I thought, well.
Well, do you know what I've tried to do? I've tried to ring him for the past 2 days. He messages me back saying, "Can I call you back later?"
Yeah.
He didn't. Then I ring him. He still didn't answer, but he manages to find an email somewhere to respond.
You know what it is? Because I knew I was thinking Flex hasn't heard from me, and I've been in meetings all day. I have not left this computer. So being at the thing, I saw the thing and I thought, let me just let them know that I'm gonna be there.
The message will get around.
Yeah, the message is gonna get around. You two are gonna speak at some point.
I was calling you about something else.
Oh, shame. Sorry, bro.
You never know what you're going to get with him. You never know. Sometimes I send the link. It's out of hope that he's going to be there.
But I'm always going to be there. The killer is I'm always going to be there, though. It's rare. It's only like when it's only in the rare. It's got to be the rare case.
You never go ghost. Like, just don't.
No, I'm going to be there.
But we have to check in the days and hours leading up to make sure.
I've had a flight and flown back in and gone straight to the studio with the suitcase, bro. I'll be there, fam.
That is true. When I saw KG pull up at the studio, with a big ass suit, not a flight case for like electrical equipment and audio equipment, a suitcase. I said, "What is this? What are you doing?" Only thing that carries everything. It's nice and easy. Look, opens it up. Everything's in there. Laptop, microphone, soundboard, all of it there. And I actually looked at it. I went, he's right, though. It does all fit in there quite easily.
And I remember that day as well. I might have been there that day, and I got there and I saw KG walk in. And I went, "Have you just got here?" Like, he said his Crocs. He went, "No, I've been here like an hour. I've been asleep in my car."
Like that.
He pulls up early and then just gets the power nap.
Put the Crocs on. Right, let me go.
Yeah.
Usually, well, to be fair, the hat. This is the thing. The hat serves as multiple purposes as well.
Yes.
It pulls down. I've said it.
Sleeping Valley. Mad, honestly.
I'm actually a mad guy about it today, guys, because even I know when we get to this part, and you know what's mad, even though we check in as mates, we have to do these little live check-ins. Actually, let's quickly do a Man United health check. I think that's a good thing to do for everyone. A quick Man United health check. How are you with the club, with the fan base? Where are you now? Just general, your general feelings. Because I know, Flex, the fan base kind of changed you. I watched your lead up and you was like, "I hear you guys. You told me that I'm being a bit, toxic and annoying and this, that, and the other. I'm going to change." So I want to know, like, what the vibe is for everyone.
Well, I can tell you exactly where Flex is. At the moment. He is.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's where he is at the moment. That's where he's at. Yeah.
Did you haven't seen my reaction after Sheffield United, have you?
No, I started watching it and then I finished it.
Well, that you didn't watch it long enough because that is a clip from a soundbite from about halfway through when this idiot, sometimes when I do my review first, sometimes it gets crazy. Sometimes everyone goes, "Oh, wicked Flex, oh, United view, boom, boom, boom." So they all just gather around like you're doing stand-up. It's a lot of pressure. And they all got their phones out and then you're like, they're kind of doing like a live reaction to my reaction right now.
Mental.
and you're looking in the lens, and there's loads of people. Some people are like, so they're like that. They're like, yeah, true, yeah. And then you get there, and then that gasses you. You're like, yeah, let me keep going. Yeah. But then sometimes you get man on the side like, they might talk to their friend and go, oh, I don't know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then sometimes you get people like this guy, and I hope he's watching. For like 3 minutes, yeah, I was just praising the team, saying, look, we actually did everything right. They just made 2 stupid mistakes. Like the way we moved the ball was fine. We created enough chances. We should have been winning by more. You know, nothing about Ten Hag. Everything's fine. Like, what can you do? Onana does a dumbass pass. You know, we switch off after halftime. We concede, you know. So I praise the team about, you know, Bruno did good. I was saying good stuff for about 3 minutes. And then the whole way through, this guy is just yapping on the side. Make sure you tell them about 47 different partnerships at the back. Make sure you tell them about injuries. Yeah, it's injuries, oh mate. Yeah, it's fucking injuries, oh mate. The manager, mate. So I ignored him for a bit, and then I just bit. I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? I never said it's 10 Hag. What the fuck are you talking about? And then it carries on from there. And then I went Jurgen Fleck on him. So then I carried on. I was like, is that bit all right? It's injuries? Because was that not Eric's? Is that Eric's fault? I just went Jurgen Fleck on him, and then he just
Jurgen Fleck.
Prick.
Oh, Jurgen Fleck. So that's so you're. Would you say you're rattled then?
Well, only by him one. I'm still like, I'm all right. It was just him.
That was just one of those weird things, wasn't it? And you know, Wednesday was a really good example of this. I think, KG, of like, we won. So we won. Happy we won. We played well. You know, we dominated possession, dominated the game, deserved to win, conceded 2 stupid goals. One's just a fundamental error. One is the same thing we've seen all season. But I didn't really have like any overwhelming negative feelings coming out the game, because why would I? We won, you know, and the issues that we saw in the game are the same issues we've seen all season. So I said it the morning after, didn't I, Flex? It's kind of like small picture, big picture. Small picture of the game, happy with the game. Big picture, nothing's changed. Like nothing really changed. So what's there to be super outraged about? So that's kind of where I'm at with it. And I'm still very, very just tired of the constant, like, people jumping down each other's throats, which then this morning picked up right again, but on a different subject now, because we're back on. Now the new point is, once again, is where does criticism become abuse? You know, we're to that point. We're having that discussion again, like we've had with how many players now? Pogba, Maguire, Rashford, De Gea, you know what I mean? Lukaku, like we do every player, and we're having it again. So it's like, oh my goodness me. But I with the Rashford thing this morning, I suppose this kind of gets onto this now. I kind of looked at it more like a I feel quite bad for him. I do. And I don't mean that as like condescending. I feel quite bad for him, because when you do sort of strip it back, you go, this is a guy who's struggling for form this season. He's tweeting at 12:30 at night. You know what I mean? He's a professional athlete. Like, what? Why? And kind of, I say unprompted. Obviously, every single time he opens up his timeline, I'm sure it's filled with, you know, negative stuff, or his DMs are filled with negative stuff, which some of it is criticism, some of it is abuse. Absolutely. But I feel like the waters have been a bit muddied by all of this now, if you know what I mean, because, well, like I said, we're having to have this debate again where it's not all criticism is abuse, and not all abuse can just be waved off as, oh, it's just criticism, because it's not. And he's right to call out people that step over the line, and they do. I mean, we can speak for ourselves here, can't we? Even us, we go on social media, and some of the things you get are like, oh my God, this is terrible. So can you imagine what someone on his platform and his level gets? It must be absolutely awful. But some of the criticism of him for his performances on the pitch, and some of the stuff that has happened off the pitch this season, like, you know, the going out after the City game, the Belfast thing, even the Players Tribune piece where it's like, this feels like really poorly timed right before the Manchester derby. Like, why have you done this? Like, that's, for me, that's justified. And then, like I said, and then I look at it and I go, well, this tweet that you've put out, it's not at you. You know, someone said your name, but it's not at Marcus Rashford. It's just Rashford. What's happening with him is abuse. And then it's at midnight. So it puts him firmly in the firing line when he wasn't massively in it, because he's out of an injury at the moment. So it puts him right back in the center of it. We're having this debate again. And I think it raises a much bigger concern about him sort of mentally, because it just feels like there's something much bigger going on with him, which from a humanistic point of view is worrying. It's concerning, is it not? And we can actually get the quotes up on the screen, actually. So first of all, this was the tweet in question for those that haven't seen it. It says, the United Paradigm said, the way Marcus Rashford is being treated is absolutely disgusting. It's cruel. It's abuse. Rashford then said, I appreciate your support. It's been abuse. It is abuse, and it has been for months. Enough is enough. Now, Ten Hag was asked about it in his press conference. He said, I've got a lot of sympathy for Rashi, of course. Last year, he had a brilliant season. I think the best season in his career. He scored 30 goals. This season, he didn't give the performances, and people have been very critical. We have to back him, and everyone should back him to get back to the levels of last year. He then said, I think he needs the support. We all know what he's capable of, and we all have to support and push him. He can do better than this year. We saw last year when he was really brilliant, which I thought quite interestingly, he didn't even really get into like the abuse stuff. He just said that he can play better, which he can.
Yeah, really, ironically, Ten Hag stuck to the football, which most of the criticism, because let's leave the abuse out of it, because it doesn't matter, but let's leave that, park that to one side a second. We'll readdress that. The criticism is the criticism. The criticism is based on performances. That happens because you played for Man United. That happens because you're Marcus Rashford. That happens because you're on the big bucks. That happens because you was simply brilliant last year. So if you're not that this year, there's going to be a multitude of questions fired in your direction. And then on top of that, if you then raise your head above the pulpit to speak on these things and choose not to do a Harry Maguire, which is go, okay, I've learned from some of the silly interviews I've done or cupping my ears and all them things. I'm just going to lay low. I'm not going to say anything, actually, and deal with what you need to deal with, i.e. the Belfast thing happens, like you said, you go out after the Manchester City game, you do the prayers tribunal, the things that Owen listed. You've chosen to go and do those things in this moment, in these moments. So the criticism you're going to have from a playing perspective, I think is valid. Like Bruno gets it all the time. After the 7-0, they said he should never be the captain ever again. Just the other day, Keno, one of the biggest legends at the club, one of our greatest ever captains, if not the, said he's nothing. What's he ever won? He ain't a winner on the overlap. Ian Wright was defending him. Like, I don't see Bruno going to do the tweet thing now. And it's crazy. You ain't seen that, KG?
No.
Roy Keane done a madness. So Ian Wright goes, the thing is, Roy, is he's a winner. Yeah, he's a winner. What's he won? He's 30. He's 30 years of age. What's he won? You tell me now. What's he won? And
then Ian Wright went, well, he's not won anything, but but Ian Wright's point was you can have a winning mentality without winning trophies, basically. He wants to win every game.
That vocab kind of to him,
yeah.
W's is trophies, bro. Don't talk to me about winning unless you got serious. You know, when people have just done so much, their thing is just, it's elite. But that's how it should be. But Ian Wright meant, like what Owen said, like he meant like he's a winner, like on the pitch, he wants to win the game. That's why he's like that. Roy Keane said, talented boy, he's talented. I'm not saying he's not talented, but don't call him a winner. He ain't won nothing, basically. So there was an argument about that.
True.
But anyway, so back to the Rashi thing. What I'm saying is there's enough examples around him, like I said this morning, of people who have been, having a hard time, performance-wise, scrutiny-wise, criticism-wise, and then of course abuse comes into that, which that's just a blanket. Nobody condones abuse. And those guys have just got their head down. For years, people say, McFred, get out. McTominay, this, that, and the other. He's one of our top scorers this season. He knows his position in the team. He don't speak. He don't do mad stuff. He don't tweet. He don't get involved in nothing. He just turns up when called upon. Harry Maguire, having one of his best seasons in a while. Going into the Euros, going to be in good form.
This is his best season at Man United.
Yeah. And ironically, it's after the one where, we still know Eric doesn't want him to be the starter. That hasn't changed. It's just circumstances has made it so Harry Maguire has to get games. But he's not listened to all of the stuff of people saying he should be in League 2 and League, out not playing football anymore, the worst player we've ever bought. And he's just got on with it. And when Rashi, I'm with Owen though, that I looked at this one more like this is a player who's losing control. This is a player who's spiraling. This is a player who looks to me like it's all got too much. And I'm more looking at it as less of a just leave, man. He's not as good as I thought he was footballing thing to actually, I'm concerned for you. Like you just don't know how to get yourself out of this hole. And then the action that you do choose, the line you choose to go down, it always is the wrong one. It's the wrong one, bro. He quote read, bro, at half 12. Let me just undo it, yeah? Think if this was you, KG.
Mhm.
At 12:30 at night, you're going on the internet, so it's not an app. So that means you probably have put your name in.
What's your name?
You've probably searched
Yeah.
your name, yeah? It's a small account, not cussing because you ain't got followers. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying it's an account that's got 600 followers. It's just a random person who just happened to say something. And he thought, yeah, that one. I'm going to use that to say something about what I want to say. And it's like, come on.
Well, you think he could have been searching for like the message that he wants to get across? Going,
Maybe.
I want to see someone say it's abuse, and that's the
And then
message
I can use it.
I want to,
It's
because
just
I've even seen like people suggest that that wasn't him, like, well,
nah.
because it was so late. I mean, again, this is a guy that's missed training because he was out on the piss. Of course, it could have been him. Like, we can't overlook that. You know, I mean, I saw you, KG. I saw you even today on social media having to kind of sort of defend yourself a bit.
So, no, I'm not going to call him a neat because he follows the channel and this, that, and the other. But yeah,
Is that the guy added both of us? He said he's disappointed in us. I just scrolled
piss off. No, because that's what I'm saying, bro. It just everyone will find a moment, yeah. It's that finger pointing, and then after you have to look at what you've done in these situations. Because I want to see if he's like holier than thou with players that he's had problems with. The person that got at us, by the way. Because I know in this whole time, I've never called Rashford trash or like, you know, just nasty stuff. Now I have criticized Rashford. Normal critique, but Rashford's not coming. Even when you read that message, he's not coming at the fan because he thanks someone. He thanks a Man United fan, says thanks for the support, but he's talking to the wider scale abuse that he's probably getting. So he hasn't lumped all Man United fans together when he's made the statement. I see the statement as very different to how you guys are seeing it. Really, I think there's that moment when he comes off the pitch, and that's a big eye opener for him. It's a massive one because everyone's, as you said, everyone was at him. Everyone was really angry. They
That's
showed
done him, yeah. That Wembley one has put him in a different place now, yeah.
That's the thing that's done it. That's the thing that's done it. However, guys, the truth is, we have to be honest. At this great, wonderful, special club, we've had in Real Madrid, yeah, which is a bigger club. They've waved handkerchiefs at legends, people that have won things over and over again. Man United, we have been faced with mediocrity and we've accepted it. Yeah, we've accepted it. But then now we're talking about there's things that's gone past mediocrity. And my thing is running. Running is not like, it's bare minimum.
It's mandatory.
If you're on 350, yeah, if you're on 350 or not even, if I don't care how much, you could be on 200, but if you're the main player at this club, yeah, that's a prerequisite. That's like me buying a phone. I expect there to be a camera. I expect there to be Bluetooth. I expect it to be able to do things that is normal because that's industry standard. Rashi, you're not meeting industry standards. Then after, we're going to go into the next level. We're talking about someone that's had, and I love Rashid. I want that to be the preface. We're talking about someone that's had more statements, yeah, than assists this season. That's a problem for me. That's a problem. You're not doing the work because guess what? The noise goes away with good performances. That's all Maguire's proven to us. We don't talk on Maguire's name. You know, say, hang on here. Anyone that tries, if someone comes on the stream and says, we just need to get rid of Maguire, we'll say, mate, hold on.
It's the opposite now. We're saying he deserves praise. He deserves his flowers.
Why? Because the performances, you must perform. And the problem with Rashford is, this season, he's done something that other players haven't done, and he's performing worse than them. So we'll use how many other players have gone to Belfast in the normal season and then missed training the next day? Who's done that?
Whilst you're out of form as well. It's not as if you're like your peak form as well.
Which would still be wrong. You still get fined and you still get
things.
You know what I mean?
This is like some George Best stuff. This is before sports science and stuff. And George Best would have to still be amazing when it comes down to it. But then it's like, well, how's he done that? Rashid, you're not doing that. And that's old school. Your players are not even doing that. So now, I feel like it's just bad advice after bad advice. And sometimes a lot of things can be true. For me, I saw that as a message, a smoke, a blaring of smoke to tell people, listen, I'm willing for conversation. Now, I'm not as happy as they would. When he says enough's enough, well, are you going to educate social media users, people with they have 7 or how many different accounts? Are you going to educate them and make them stop? Are you going to stop these people change their behavior? Absolutely not. All that can be changed is your environment. PSG or whoever have said to him, you used us last season for a contract renewal. Yeah, you've used us for a contract renewal, and the only way we're gonna get in contact with you is if you show us you're serious. Well, guess what? That's as serious as I could ever be, because weeks ago, Rio and them lot called me out on the platform, and they said Gary, the legends, called him out and said, don't know if he wants to be here. So many people, what do you call it? Something has to be true in this thing. So now you're saying the final straw probably was the booing of the crowd and thought, you know what? I can't do this again. So guess what? I'm going to put out a tweet. It's late at night, and the right people that need to see it will see it, and negotiations will start. We're at the perfect time in the season for this thing to happen.
So wait, so you're saying that you think this is like him trying to manifest an exit plan?
Come and get me.
Really?
Why not? Because
I didn't even think of it like that. Yeah,
because you're not going to change the these. Unfortunately, there's a lot of people. I believe he's getting abused. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not saying that none of this is. I believe he's getting true abuse. He's getting all this stuff. But to go out, you found this message that fits the narrative that is true, and you said enough's enough. Well, what were you going to change?
Do you know what? And when he said, I said that bit, Owen, didn't I, this morning? I goes, and that bit, enough. What's next?
What does he mean?
That's what I said. I did say, yeah. And I mean, when I said that, I didn't really think
you're not changing the thing.
He's trying to engineer a move. You're saying
enough's enough. I can't be here no more. The legends, when you break it down, the legends dislike me. The legends dislike me. The Man United fans just booed me, and like it's not getting better. We've been through this before. It's not working.
I don't even think it's if you could sit in a room with Rashi, yeah, and sit down and talk to him, yeah. And I put me into this, yeah. I wouldn't say like we don't like you, because you know when he's saying like the legends
I was just
don't
about
like
to
me,
say. That's what I was just about to say.
The fans don't want me; they just want me outcasted.
Yeah,
I think this disappointment and this frustration and critique and criticism just stems from your performances, because we know you're better than this, and
they want you to do well. You want to do. That's what I was going to say. No one's like. I mean, and again, this is when I'm sure the people that give him abuse, they could care less about Marcus Rashford. That's what they want to do. That's social media trolls. It's horrible. But I think a lot of it almost does come from somewhat of a good place, because they want to see him do well. And when he talks about his journey and how he got to Manchester United and blah, 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 that's when you go, well, then surely you must understand the sort of frustration, because you understand like the standards that people are holding to. You understand that sort of like KG saying, just the base standard, the base level is to have good body language and run around and put some desire. If you're talking about how ingrained you are in the sort of DNA and history of the club because of your journey coming through the academy, then surely you must know that. And it's almost like some of the things, you know, like we were saying with like Harry Maguire, sometimes it does come across as like a bit tone deaf, because it's at the stage now, and this is why you sort of when the tweet came out last night, I sent it to Flex and was like, "Here we go again," was because it's just like it's just not worth saying it at this point, is it? Because we're having this discussion again. But unless KG, to your point, unless it's because there is alternatives like I want someone to try and buy me, basically, or let people know.
Absolutely, you get to a stage for him where is our boy all right?
What, Flex?
Yeah.
Yeah, he said he was going to jump out and jump back in, didn't he?
Okay, so yeah, there you go. We have this thing, good. We have this thing, we have this situation with this player. Like, we can't absolve poor form. That's the truth. Like, and you lot know me. I like to say I'm like emotionally sensitive to situations, players, what they're getting through, this, that, and the other. But we have to call this real. Rashford has not been good this season. Now, but then when I look at the emotional side,
you've been a big Rashy advocate for a long time.
I'm a Rashford fan. There's been so many times I flip-flopped on, we need him. I love him. Even when he done that Belfast thing, I was like, one game, bring him back in immediately. Still can't hear you.
Technology.
I was actually muted that time.
So I've been someone that said that. I've been someone that's been pro Rashford. However, we got to this place now where it must be difficult. Like, I wouldn't care if other comedians, let's say people that came to a comedy show and said, no, he wasn't all that. If my peers or legends that I respect are on a platform, on a podcast, on whatever show, talking about me in a way that I feel is not positive, it's going to hurt. And then after the back of that, I play another game and then I get booed off by a large section of the fans. Guys, I'm ready to leave this club because I've had the swear word and thing with the fan before. Come and get me. My brethren's already left the club in a funny way, Rashford. I still celebrate Sancho despite what happened. I gave him the tweet and stuff. So you know how I feel about this situation. I'm ready. Like, I'm at a club now that it's like we've reached that part of it's untenable. I need something else. I need a fresh start. And he's always a red. Once a
But
red,
he's been here before that. But this is the thing with him, that actually what we're looking at, right, is actually the consistent inconsistencies in his whole journey. This is what it is. Like, it's been a rise, then a fall, then a rise, then a fall. If you look at a cardiograph, it would be like one of them when you get the heart rate monitor thing. And like, now I've kind of looked at the whole sample size of Rashi from when he burst on the scene as a teenager against Midtjylland and Arsenal all the way through to now. I think it's more about like the rate of acceleration of different parts of him. And I was talking about it before and we touched on it today in the morning show. Like, his brand and his aura and his appeal, I just feel like I don't even feel he's that person.
There's a mismatch.
I feel like there's a mismatch, and I feel like the older he's got, the further away that mismatch has gone, and he struggled to keep up with that. That's on a playing level, that's on a media level, that's on a maverick / superhero level, that's on a boy wonder level. Everything that Rashford, the aura of Rashford, right? Of how he is as the brand, the exclusivity of the interviews, the don't really do loads of talking. Like, hear me out on this. It's like a Jay-Z. It's like a Drake. It's like a LeBron. Like, it's maverick. It's like he doesn't really speak that. And I'm talking about the perception, because obviously the player, he's not on them levels of them in their respective industries. That's the whole point. But as the aura of the person, it's like super prestige, super high, superstar, you know, M10, yeah? But like, that brand doesn't not just correlate with like how good he can actually be with the ball at his feet. I don't think it correlates with his actual personality. Like, if you're going to be that guy, when you do speak, it's nothing but like inspiration coming out of you and realness and like, do you know what I mean? If people
but what you're talking about is someone that's just got older.
But I feel, but not just got older.
Yeah,
it is that, but I feel like he's got older and can't catch up to the thing that has been laid out for him via his team. He can't do it. He can't be the football version of Drake, the football version of LeBron, like the football version of Jay-Z, which I feel like his package that's put out there is like it's that. But when you look at the person who's quite intrinsic, he's quite shy, he's quite quiet, doesn't really tend to deal well with like, some of the setbacks. He doesn't want that, but he's been packaged as that.
This is it, and this is the problem that he's really struggling to deal with.
And then the ability as well. He's just not as good as we think.
You want to put, exactly, and it's mad because we put him in this weird sphere, right?
Correct.
Players like Ronaldo, the abuse that Ronaldo will get on a regular basis, abuse sometimes when Messi does something good, Ronaldo has to get abused in the exact same moment because
he's the top of the game.
But it's the nature of the beast of being the head guy. The head guy, all the attention, a lot of daggers. And the killer is, he actually doesn't want to deal with those. He says, other players say, bring me that. I feel better. When those moments happen, I enjoy it. You see, like Ronaldo, when he had to go to Atletico and deal with Simeone, and Ronaldo's like, he says we can win. That mindset is a super champions mindset. LeBron, all the greats have it. Unfortunately, when it comes down to when the rubber hits the road for Rashford in moments, like even that game against Coventry, Rashford, we have to talk about the facts. The plain facts are, could you look good against Coventry? No. Were you the difference against Coventry? No. Have you been the difference against little sides in the league? No, you haven't. And you know, there's that thing that people say where individual brilliance. his individual brilliance are not getting us through games.
They're diminishing. They're
That's
diminishing.
it. That's it.
Well,
Like,
there's a couple of things. There's a couple of things with this as well. And I think you mentioned about he doesn't do many interviews, well, all that. And the question to that would be, well, why? Because when he talks, obviously stuff like this happens. So I think there's one part of it where I think
just
he's
quickly
getting
on that,
really,
Owen. Sorry, before you carry on, I know that is a fact as well.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
spoke to people at the club, and
Yeah.
the media people have said to me categorically, I can share this. It's not, oh, don't say it. They've said like his camp and like his whole aura of what he does and who decides what he does, what he doesn't. It's a bit of a nightmare. Like, because they don't want him to be speaking every week so that it's watered down. That's a fact.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this is again where I think he's getting really bad advice here because, and yet he doesn't talk that often. But it's almost like, but the times when he is talking are the worst times to do it. Now is not the time to do that tweet. The Players Tribune piece, it's not the time to do that for the Manchester derby. So I think the people that are around him are giving him bad advice. And I think on top of that, I think there are some other things going on behind the scenes. I mean, he didn't play that much on the England duty. By all accounts, he's been carrying an injury for a while as well. If he's beat up physically, maybe like he was a couple of seasons ago, that's when, again, from a club point of view, take him out, take him off. Don't play, because it's not as if at the moment we have to play Marcus Rashford because he's not contributing anything anyway. We're just making the situation worse. So it raises the question once again, why is he playing? Why is he constantly playing? Take him out of the limelight. For him, you would say, don't say that much. And it's like a toxic relationship, I think, for the betterment of the club and for the betterment of you. You need to get out of here because this is not
poor PR. I believe that's poor PR. Now, in this moment, if you need the, what you call it, if you need the fan base, well, talk to the, I still don't want to swear, but talk to the effing fan base. Like, you thinking that you're above this thing, you want to be handled a bit more gently than the others. Well, there's a way you can appease the fans by talking to us.
I disagree. I disagree.
When Jesse Lingard went through his thing,
but he did. He did talk to that. He done Players Tribune.
I don't think people want to hear it. I think, look at Harry Maguire. Maguire's the best example. It gets to a point where you just go, I just can't say anything, or I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to wait for my performances to improve. Then you talk. I think any person, and this is why I don't think it was like PR. I don't think there was people advising him to do this last night. I think this was just off Marcus Rashford, spur of the moment, late night, going through social media.
Oh, definitely.
I don't think any PR person worth their salt would go, I'll tell you what you need to do, Marcus. When you're kind of out of the spotlight and you haven't played this week and people are talking about the team, or they're talking about the manager, or they're talking about Dan Ashworth or Bruno Fernandes, what you need to do right now is get the spotlight back on you when you're playing badly. Like, that's just not
lost his head. That's what I mean about the spiraling. Like, he's losing control.
I'm talking about when you go out, like, there's a reason you talk to certain people. There's a reason why now in America, like, if you feel like you got something to get off your chest, you might go to a Shannon Sharp. There's a reason. There's different people that you might choose. Joe Biden. You have to. It's the media that you choose.
But
Gary Neville, like, what's his name? Done it smart. Who's that kid? Play for Tottenham. What's his name?
Dele Alli.
Yeah, Dele Alli. Perfect. Right platform.
And that was a very serious issue. Very serious issue.
The job. The problem is he's gone to the Tribune. He's gone to someone that probably doesn't understand. Even Gary Neville would have been a perfect person, because now you're sitting with a former legend. You're sitting with a former legend that knows Man United, knows the scale of the job you're doing because he's done it himself, and he can really understand and help you and guide you through it.
I disagree. I think the reaction would have been the same. I think the reaction would have been the same.
Totally different, because Gary knows what to do, even to help protect him when he's saying these things. So then after you come out of I came out of the Players Tribune with more questions and not enough answers. That's all I did.
Do you know what? I actually see a true fence fleck. I see both sides of this. I do see both sides of this. The first side is because another ex-player said the same thing to me, right? They said, how ill-advised was that play? The Players Tribune thing come across completely wrong. Like, you're just sitting there unopposed, not speaking to someone who speaks the same language as you, someone who can stand in your corner and push back a little bit to get to, and someone who knows what Man United's all about. That's what this ex-pro said to me, yeah? And I listened to that's a good, and they went, even if it weren't me, then they said, Gary or this person or that person.
So
cool. So there is that side to it, but I do see what Owen's saying, because it's like he's playing so badly, and the track record of doing and saying the wrong thing, he's almost used that up. If he wanted to do it for a first time, step into the light, and try and address some things after a really torrid time, we'll go, all right, okay. But because, like I said, every time he's chosen to speak so far, it's just been wrong. The
What's the
best thing
initial
to do
reaction
now
been?
is do nothing, bro.
The initial
Do
reaction, every single
nothing.
time he does an interview, the first thing the majority of the people say is, "Do you talking on the pitch?" I don't think people want to hear it anymore. They don't. And I get your point, KG, of like, well, maybe the right environment with the right person, they can push back, they can, say certain things, and they can be done a certain way. But the Players Tribune as an outlet is meant to be a thing that cuts through all of that. It's just the athlete talking to the fans. There's no like media, there's no agenda. This is just me talking. And when it was just him talking, people didn't want to hear it. Like, so I think that is because he's done the
a
overlap
massive shame.
before. He did the overlap before Gary Neville, didn't he? Way back
Oh,
when,
yeah,
when he was walking with him. And that's when he was
said,
doing
I don't
well.
like playing I don't like playing up front.
And he's at the stage now where anything he says, they'll use it. They'll come back and use it. Like, so when he did the Players Tribune thing, if you believe in me, great. If you doubt me, even better. Now they're using it again. Eventually it gets to a point where
he's fueling that. Do you know what I'm saying?
you've got
and that is where.
And it's not saying he can't say anything. It's not saying, you can't talk, you can't highlight abuse. Of course he can highlight abuse. Of course he's allowed to talk. So it's not saying Marcus Rashford can't talk. It's just saying at the moment it might be ill-advised to do that. Let things simmer, let yourself improve, and then
I honestly feel he's ready for the move now. He's seen enough, and he's saying, "Look, I'm not going to do this up and down again. I'm not going to try and ingratiate myself to you fans again. I've tried my best."
But KG, what do you think that looks like? I posed the question today. Interested to get your thoughts. Yeah. When I'm now in the space where I'm like, I actually worry for him about what that even looks like. All he knows is Manchester. All he knows is Manchester. We know the story. He's been in this sort of hub that caters to his every need and puts him on this pedestal where he rules the roost, top player, can do everything, start all the games. What does it look like in a new country? What does it look like? And where does he go? Do PSG even want him anymore?
I think it's brilliant. The scary part is if he did end up at Arsenal in it. That's the scary part, just for me as a fan in it, because it's like, oh my goodness, I couldn't imagine anything worse. But
with confidence, with a new environment, with a new fan base,
he'll be fine.
So you think so? You don't think it's an ability fit? You just think he'll then feel 10 foot tall again and have confidence, so he'll be fine. So why can't that be recreated here in a new regime, in a new everything?
Sometimes you just need to leave home. When like some family members, they're always going to see you as that kid. They're always going to see you. They're not going to respect you as, well, you're a man now and your opinion and this, that, and the other. And that's what, like, you'll get respect outside of your regular space sometimes, which is just the way it goes sometimes. You have to leave. And then when you leave and smash it, people at home will start to respect you. It's just like you've been here since you was a child, and now what's happened is we're starting to take things for granted. It's like kids take their parents for granted, parents will take their kids for granted, and not value the time that they spend with each other. Well, guess what? Now it's saying that time is now coming to an end. When I now step into a new space, I don't get to walk around as I'm the boss. It's like when you join a new school and you're not the smartest person in the room anymore, because everyone here is smart. So what do you bring to the table? He has to work. He's forced to get there on time. He's forced to go harder with the training. He's forced to, try and talk to people so he can get the ball off them, because I don't have to pass to you. You're not the king of this place. This place is bigger than you now. And that's him going into a situation like that would be beautiful for Rashford, because I still believe he's a very good player who is incredibly comfortable at Man United. That's the truth is. And now there's an expectation plus with a lack of realness in understanding the situation we're in, which is the truth. Man United have been underperforming, and there's no superstars at this club. Facts. Man United are underperforming. There's no superstars at the club, and the club has gone backwards many years. Yeah, so you walking around thinking you're the bee's knees, is a mess. It's a myth. You just get paid a lot of money. You're not in the halls of rates at Man United at all, not close to. So guess what? Take you off your high horse. You go out and just achieve, because you'll be great. You'll win titles. You can do that. Man United are in the worst phase, and they need to grow. But you can't grow with us anymore. We've reached our maximum. Go out and be successful. Once a red, always a red.
Would you say the same for Bruno?
No, because he still has the last couple games.
Wants it.
He still has, And the last couple games, you're starting to see Bruno involved. I'm waiting for other people to join him at the party. So I would say no for Bruno, but Bruno's definitely on the watch list. Absolutely. This season has been shambolic from Bruno, but we know that he can give. When we see, like, even when it, like, there's things that Bruno does, he say, you know what? That's the difference. Him running back, yeah, his hands mash up and stuff. Wheatley comes in, he's like, I'm trying to.
He's always there. He puts it in.
Always putting it in. And one thing you can say is he's gonna try. And the difference between Rashford and Darwin Núñez is Darwin is trash, yeah, but he gives everything. He gives everything in that thing, and that is almost, it's infectious. And what the things that Rashi does, unfortunately, is like almost, it rubs you the wrong way. You're not trying. You're walking. Are you mad? That's not good enough. So yeah, he has to. But I believe he sent out the message, and the right people that need to hear it heard it, and they'll be in contact with his team.
Oh, and I want to talk about. First of all, you got smash a like on the video. I haven't said it once throughout the whole thing. Actually, we're just engrossed. Like, this is a bit of a different Trinity. Like, we had to get into some serious stuff. It's not every minute laughs and jokes and stuff. When it's time to talk serious, we will talk serious. So I should have said at the beginning of the show, if you are listening on any of your podcast outlets, make sure you share it on Google, Spotify, and Apple. So make sure you check those out on the podcast. If you want to, out in the car, if you're in the gym, doing whatever you're doing, get the podcast on. You don't have to just listen here on YouTube. And if you are here on YouTube, big up to yourself. Smash a like on this video. Get in the comments. Make sure you guys drop a comment. Let us know how you're feeling about the whole Rashford situation. And more importantly, like we've said many, many times, make sure you are subscribed to all the channels. Yeah. Owen Wrestle News 3655555. Yeah. Wonder KG Da Comedian. Make sure you are subscribed. Yeah. As well as United View. It's a team thing. Mina's channel as well. Everyone, Rich has got a channel. Everyone involved, man. Just make sure you're sending the love. Good Vibes John. How can we forget Good Vibes John? Exactly. So get involved and make sure you're following everybody involved in United View's platforms as well. And I wanted to bring to the next bit this situation with Eric today in the presser.
Yes, because KG's not aware of this.
KG's not aware of this. And actually, I haven't seen all of the quotes. I've seen most, but the main crux of it, he's come out swinging again.
Oh, yes, yeah. Well, he's come out swinging not by anything he said, by anything that he's not allowing in the press conference. So we heard after the one earlier on in the week about the minibus and all that kind of stuff. Well, it has continued to today's pre-match press conference because it was reported by the Mail that Erik ten Hag banned reporters from the Sun, the Manchester Evening News, and the Mirror from asking questions during his pre-match press conference today at Carrington. So once again, to figure out
going to be right up KG.
So Manchester Evening News, of course, that's Luckhurst. Luckhurst didn't get a question. The Mirror, that's David McDonald.
David McDonald, yeah.
And which one was the other one? The Sun would be Neil Custis, wouldn't it? Yeah. So they don't get questions. So it's the people you would expect, basically.
I'm surprised Jamie Jackson went on there.
No, Jimmy Jackson, to be fair, is quite nice with him. He's been quite sympathetic recently. He's been talking about the injuries and all that kind of stuff recently. And look, I mentioned we had this debate earlier on in the week, didn't we? And you know what? I like this probably more than coming out and saying, "No, you're an embarrassment. You're a disgrace." Just go, "No, you're not talking." I prefer that because he's right. Because I think that moves it away from the Coventry game and like the achievement thing and what have you, because there were aspects of that I could kind of see both sides of the argument, you know what I mean? By saying like, wow, the performance was pretty embarrassing. But at the same time, that media, that room, those group of people, not all of them, but that group of people largely, just throughout Erik ten Hag's tenure at Manchester United, have been nothing short of a disgrace at points. Some of the things they have said and written about him has been so far wide of the mark and so like taking the piss. Like even things to the point like we knocked Liverpool out the FA Cup. We maybe speak about that result for 5 minutes before we're talking about, hey, Gareth Southgate's coming in. Like, what are we doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing there? Or the beginning of last season, I always circle back to this one of like, okay, we lose our first 2 games. It's not good. Neville Carragher, 2-on-1, handicap match at Carrington. Basically, why you shit? Why Man United shit? It's like, what's going on here? And then like when Graham Potter comes in, they're going, it takes a long time. You know, got to be careful, Graham. Or even with this season with Poch, you know, it's very much been sort of softy, you know, wow, we'll see what happens. It's very
It's
difficult
not the same
situation.
scrutiny, but that is the Man United tax, though.
I understand that, but some of the stuff has just been like where like wide of the mark. Sometimes he has said things in press conferences whereby they will twist it, they will just completely, you know.
Can I play devil's advocate then? So we're not all on the same page, because I do agree with a lot of what you say, and I know KG will be in that camp. So I'll play. I know that. I know you would. As soon as he heard the word people banned, and because I actually, from the Flex and KG show we did the other day, I did have I did take it in a bit more and think, okay, you got some points there about how he has to come out swinging and defend himself, and
man.
So I did listen to the community. You know, in the comments they were like, listen to what KG's saying. The manager has to believe, and so I did kind of take a step back from it and kind of get in that mode. So I take that on board. Yeah. So I'll play devil's advocate in this situation, though.
Yes.
Could it come across as if the criticism, because back to criticism, or the comments that were coming from the media in this occasion, this one occasion, not all the others, in the aftermath of the Coventry game, were they not legitimate questions in terms of, was that not an embarrassment? Like that's how we felt about it.
I think it's the tone, Flex. I think it's the tone.
Well, they just asked it. Was it an embarrassment?
But some of them weren't asking. I think that's the different thing. I think, and this is the difference between being a journalist and being a fan, isn't it? Because legitimately, there were journalists. There were journalists on social media on Sunday being like, he should be sacked. And I'm thinking, well, as a journalist, like, is that for you to really say he should be sacked? Is it for you to frame it as there's going to be pressure on Erik ten Hag, or should Erik ten Hag's position be considered after a result like this? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I know journalists do opinion pieces, I suppose, and they're allowed to give their opinion. But when they're in a press conference, are they there to give their opinion, or are they there to ask questions?
They never said. They did ask a question. They said, "Do you think the performance was embarrassing?" So and after the whole thing is, we all think it was embarrassing.
Yes.
Why is it that bad for them to ask the manager, do you think it's embarrassing?
No, because I think it's correct in what Owen's saying about the tone. Sometimes I listen to those pressers, because I remember I watch Owen, then I watch the presser.
And see how they asked it.
And then see what's going on, And then I'm like, sometimes they talk to him as if they hate him. Like, I'm like, wait, what's going on? Like, it's like you lot are waiting to trip me. Sometimes it feels like they're trying to trap him. They're trying to, there's always that question. You said this team's annoying. What do you think about it? You know what I mean? So it's like they're always looking for
that was a Newcastle one, isn't it?
And because he's not got, obviously, it's not his dominant language. So, and sometimes Ten Hag does himself a disservice because of the barrier in terms of how he kind of almost explains himself. I know if he spoke in Dutch, it'll be a bit more clearer as to exactly what I'm trying to say. So some things, like, he actually did say that this is not the best of us. Like, he did say this wasn't good, but we're through. The part that he was trying to say,
he's not mixing his words. We understand what he's saying.
He says that we're through. Now I like it's dangerous what he's doing, though. The one thing, because they're still an important stakeholder in things, and you've chose to take on, ever since he kicked out Luckhurst in that first one. Things have never been.
He was right, but again, he was right to do that then. He was right to do that then, and I think again now, I think he's within his right to do that, because I think again, because I don't think it's because of anything they said in the. I don't think it's because of anything he said in the press conferences. They said in the press conferences as well. I think it's more related to the things they said maybe in some of their articles and on social media. Legitimately, because I saw this on social media after the game. They were like, Ten Hag, he's got to go after this sort of thing. And you were going. Again, and like the whole thing of going, well, was it an embarrassment how you got to the final? When he pushed back and said you're an embarrassment, and it wasn't embarrassing, you go, well, Erik, it kind of was embarrassing. But then he gave an answer in the embargoed part of the press conference that I loved. It's one of the best things I think I've heard him say recently about Man United's poor form and all that kind of stuff. He said, I'm angry at myself.
Yes.
He said, I'm angry at the team. He said, we've had a bit of bad luck when it comes to, like, deflected goal and a penalty. And you go, okay. But he said, but mostly I'm angry at myself because I'm responsible. And I saw that, and I wanted to sort of scream at, like, the people that are so defensive of Erik and go, that's what I'm saying is he knows that if you're the manager, you have to be accountable. Of course you do. And when you go into a press conference and you've got to an FA Cup final, Of course, you're going to defend your record. You're going to go, I'm in a final. Who gives a shit? You know, you're not going to go to press conference and be like, yeah, we're rubbish. Oh my goodness me, we're terrible. He's never done that. So he's not
Owen,
gonna
in
do
that moment, the press know what they're doing though, because guess what happened? That piece that he said, it was the same day they heard that. The people that write their, what do you call it?
But they chose not to push that.
It's not because we've heard parts that it's been in the embargoed part that they make the headline. So they've chose that. That's the and the framing is, hey, that bit's not important. Him saying, taking responsibility and saying, this is on me, and which will be resonant to the fans, because the fans want to hear accountability. They said, we're not interested in that. So he knows the game they're playing. Said, you know what? F you guys. You don't want to play your media games. I'm not involved. Actually, guess what? You're banned. And you know who's been the original banner of the main man? Was Fergie. Fergie wouldn't let these guys in. And I know he's different.
About the relationship as well, by the way, because I've always thought this is wild. Imagine like we do this show, right? Every Friday we record it. Imagine all the way through the week, like for KG, right? Imagine all the way through the week, I just go on Twitter and I just write shit about you. I write terrible things about you, yeah? And then we come into this on a Friday and just have to pretend it's normal. And we'd be like, you've been talking rubbish about me all week, like, and it's not like you have to be.
That's
kind.
the nature of the media, though.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I mean. It's a weird relationship,
yeah,
and to be fair, when he says, "Oh, he banned them," I think they were still in the press today. He just didn't take questions from them.
I just don't want to hear from you.
And to be fair, like KG's point, Fergie did that. Lots of managers do that. I've seen Klopp do that. I've seen other managers go not like banned from the press, or just no, I'm not going to talk to you today. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, they all kind of do it. So, like I said, I don't have too much of an issue with it, because when it comes to the media or whatever, they kind of get what they deserve.
I think the media are entitled and they feel that they're above reproach.
But to KG's point, you have to be careful, because once he's drawn that line very much in the sand now. So if they weren't after him before, which they were, they are after him tenfold.
100%.
Tenfold.
And especially because, like you're saying, because he's chosen this line, you know, he's banned them a couple of times. So they know, like, come on, listen, we know Samuel Luckhurst on a personal. Well, not on a personal to ring him, but, you know, me and KG have been around him. We've seen him, yeah?
There's worse.
And Neil Custis. And when you spend a little bit of time in and around these guys, you can instantly see why it is how it is. Let's just say that. I'm not out here trying to slander other people. And, you know, the internet says, oh, Luckhurst this and the Custis. I'm not in that game. But I've been in there, KG. You've been in there, right? And even like in socials, actually, we've been places where we're having a drink with some of these guys, or playing football, or we've seen it in the professional side and the not so professional side, and you can see why it's like this. And you're right. It's soon. Let me tell you.
I wish I was there when they told him the cut question. I wish, because Custis' face is the same regardless.
He's always so angry.
Well, because in the embargoed part of the presser before the game in the week, this is what was funny, because the press officer Andrew he did the thing where he went like, okay, last question. And I think he was going to Chris, which I think is Chris Wheeler. He's going to Chris. And then someone else started shouting like, Eric, well, you're saying it's embarrassing, like it came from across. And he's just thinking, if you're going to take that tone in the presser, then you can't be surprised if the next presser you don't get a question.
So wait, was this a fresh presser today at Carrington?
Yes.
It was, innit? So it wasn't because we were thinking.
Exactly. It was. So, you know, you can't be
I want to say this. I do want to say this. I have taken a step back to understand more why Ten Hag is doing this. KG helped me with the first step of that last week in the Flexi KG show. Because I'm not going to lie, you saw my stance. I was like, nah, it comes across as tone deaf to just say it's. I didn't like the way he did it, but I fully understand why he has to do that.
Because they are an embarrassment. Because they are. Our performance was an embarrassment, but also they are an embarrassment. So it's two things are true at the same time.
And it just felt quite tie-ish. Like, no, we're through to the final, mate. You're embarrassing, actually. No, you are. Like, I didn't like it. But when I took a step back by listening to like what you were saying that day, KG, through the comments, and then you kind of G-check yourself in it. You're like, all right, let me break this down. What do I really expect Eric to go in there and admit that it's totally embarrassing? Probably not. Does he need to have some backbone and show that he's not a pushover and you're not going to F with me? And just push me out. I'm not going to go without a fight. Yes, he does need to do that. Is C's mentality no matter whether you think it's going to materialize into a real siege or not, is it good or is it bad? It's always good. So from those points of view, I did check myself and I went, all right, you know what? Maybe I was a little bit too extra about that. But the last thing I was going to say is, what was it again? I lost my train of thought. Going back to you guys.
I was going to say, I thought KG brought up a really good point in the Flex and KG show when he said as well that, sometimes and maybe it wasn't the best moment to pick, but let's make no mistake here. He's been thinking about, there's going to come a day when I'm going to tell these lot what I really think about them, that they are an embarrassment. And that was the day. That was the day he decided to do it. Like, again, was it embarrassing how we got to the final? Yes. He's Man United manager, though. He's never going to say that. Is getting to a cup final an achievement? Yes. Back-to-back years? Yes, of course it is. And his recent track record in cup competitions, of course, they are an achievement. But I think he viewed it as, right, this is the time I'm going to have a go back because I'm going to have to defend myself here and my team. But also, I've got some things I want to get off my chest about some of these people in this room. And to be fair, some of the people in that room, he's got really good relationships. I think he likes, Simon Stone, I think he's like Simon Peach, like you said, Jamie Jackson. I think he likes him. I was surprised earlier on this season, when Rob Dawson was banned, I was surprised by him because I thought, well, that's not really one you would expect.
Rob Dawson actually said to me, because remember when I said I was winding him up when I went there?
Yeah.
He actually said, I don't know. I didn't do anything wrong. I don't even know why. He did that one. He's like, I'm not even with them. I didn't even do anything.
That's when your whole table in class gets sent out. Like there's 4 of you on a table. 3 of them have messed them out. You haven't. You're just put there because of the seating plan. You go, I'm guilty by association.
Joint enterprise, mate.
Do you know the funny thing is though, like I believe everyone else had questions along those lines, and they got rid of those questions immediately.
Yeah.
He had that big reaction. He said, "Okay, tear out the questions. They're gone. Tell us about the team and where you think you could be taking this thing to. Where you think you see this, bro? Because you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to. End of the day, it's still there's almost like a relationship that it's a circle of life, but in the media terms, if this is the biggest club in the world, I have a job. If I don't get a question, I can't write my article. We don't get the clicks. I need him.
My editor is pissed with me.
Yeah, my editor is furious. So we all kind of helping each other. So there's only so many liberties I can actually take. Are you with me? Imagine the Manchester Evening News didn't get a question.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy. Like the senior reporter of the Manchester Evening News as well. And I've been there within the Sky situation, where either where we've been in presses or I've been at Sky HQ where they're sending. I've seen how they do the prep for it, and they say, right, before you go, we need a line on X or we need a line on Y. So I've spoken to a couple of the guys who actually conduct their part from Sky, and they have sometimes the presser will finish and they haven't got the question they want, and I'm saying, I'm not going to say who it is. I'll say, oh, what, like flipping that, mate, and he'll go, well, I know powers it be, mate. I've got to ask that. Had to ask about Ronaldo. I know, but I was like, but he's not going. I know, mate. I know. They literally said, I know as well.
It was like his first one. I remember his first press conference he did, not the one at Old Trafford, that one on tour. You guys were in it, the one in Thailand or whatever.
All about Ronaldo.
And literally, Ronaldo's not there. So the first question is, right, what's going on with Ronaldo? And he's like, he's not here, blah, blah, blah. I go, okay, next question. So what's going on with Ronaldo? He goes, I just said that, so I'm not going to answer it. They go, okay, cool. Next question, they go, so about Ronaldo, what's going on with Ronaldo? And like you said, and it's cool.
And then it gets the flex in KG.
And then they get the flex in KG.
They love that question.
Because you're not forced. Because you're not forced. Like to your point, because they're not forced by their outlet going, you have to get a line on Ronaldo today. With us, we're like, we'll ask a question that we want, like that we want that interests us or something like that. So, KG says, there is this like ecosystem of how it all works, and they do have a relationship with the club as well. They talk to the club very regularly. That's what a press officer's for. Absolutely. So I can only imagine what that relationship is like at the moment.
Very, very.
I remember that, and
do you think he pretends that he's going to as well? And he goes,
yeah. I'm telling you, because I tell you to give you guys an eye opener into the pressers whenever we're there, because you got to remember, guys, it is a happy to be there vibe. I ain't gonna lie to you. There is no guarantee of anything. Yeah, me and KG could drive from London to Manchester for 3 hours for a 10-minute presser, and the press officer Andrew could go.
And you deep down in your heart, it's like a kid in school. You're like, me, miss, sir, me.
There is no guarantee. And I know that feeling of when you're just looking at him and Karen used to do the same thing. And that was when Karen used to be there. That was, I mean, I did that on United Stand, and that was when we really weren't supposed to be in there. Like, I just found a way. Me and Josh are just in there. Like, we just kept going and going and going, which is makes me quite proud now, because now it's kind of a bit of a norm. But I know that was not. I know in the Man United fan base anyway, and a lot of teams, we've been one of the first people to
still
really,
a lot of teams don't.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
they don't do it. They don't do it. And I know at United, if I speak for me, I know that me and Joss with fresh ego hats and hoodies, you can't miss us. You can't miss us for many reasons in the practice. Yeah.
Well, KG's in there, and you can see him as he's got his hand up, actively rehearsing what he's going to say over and over again. Okay.
And I'm there just
like, it's brilliant.
Weghorst, Wout Weghorst, Wout Weghorst.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And that, to be fair, is a testament to how far we've actually come in this space.
So
but there are setbacks, when Garnacho obviously like Mark's tweets, and then, they push back on the Rasmus interview. Why did you do that with United Stand? And, there are some other things where it's conflated, and it's like fan media and the real media plus the club. Sometimes the equation doesn't always equate. So it's a work in progress, man. It's
a work in progress, man.
There you go.
Hilarious. There's so much going on, man.
Oh, absolutely. Episode 13 of the Trinity, powered by Dangor.
What a show. What a show.
Big show. Big show. We covered a lot. Let us know how you feel about all the big topics. Let us know how you're feeling about what we've discussed today. Get involved in the chat. And yeah, we will see you on episode 14 of the Trinity next week. And tomorrow is match day. Me and KG will be in the studio. Some of the guys will be down there as well. Owen's going to be live, pre-match show. A couple of hours.
Oh, we're away from home?
No, but we're just...
Oh, thanks for telling me. Thanks for letting me know.
Well, we've been trying to ring you for...
it is in the group chat, which you ignore very often.
Yeah. But you email sometime, and it's just up to you. You just,
maybe I'll let you know by email.
Yeah. Do you want a fax, mate? Do you want us to send you a fax with the plans?
I can let go of this carrier pigeon right now. Go to KG. Yeah.
I tell you what, are you still on BT Cellnet? I'll send you a page.
No, just obviously we do most of the things like this. So okay.
Yeah.
We do. Well, I'll message you on Bebo later, KG. Yeah.
I just thought, when we had the team meeting,
But you know what now? Do you know what now as well, Owen, right? I know this guy in his head, In his head now, he's gone, I didn't have that down to go to the studio tomorrow. Shit.
No, you didn't have it planned.
I need to rearrange stuff. He's doing it now as we're outroing.
Yeah.
He's processing in his brain.
He's also going in his head, I really need to check those messages.
Let's get out of here, guys.
This was from like 3 or 4 days ago. Anyway, smash the like in the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're out of it. Peace.